Hi, and welcome back to Revelations of God. Today, we're going to be looking at scripture. We're going to be, if you have a Bible, go ahead and grab it. We're going to start off on Luke chapter 11, and it's going to be on the first verse. And the topic for today will be prayer. So, Jesus teaching on prayer. One day, Jesus was praying in a certain place. So, throughout scripture, we see that Jesus is always praying. And with that said, we're going to, well, we're gonna go ahead and look into what really prayer is. For me, the way I see it and the way I believe is that prayer is something that's very personal, very something that bonds you with God, something that you communicate with God more than anything or anyone else. Like, you can talk to your friends and your family or whoever, but it's not the same as when you talk to God. I know sometimes we get frustrated and we think, but He's not listening, He's not hearing us. No, God hears and He sees everything. He hears your pain. He knows what you're going through. And basically, if you were just, sometimes we don't hear because we're not attentive. We don't let God speak. We don't allow ourselves to hear Him because we're always doing this. We're always talking. We're not expecting Him to speak. We only expect to say what we feel. But if we were to just, like, for a minute or for a second, just hold it off and just give it time to sink in and for Him to really give you your answer, you would hear Him. This happened to me a while back. That I don't want to get too off track, but it happened a while back that I felt like I was far away from the Lord. I didn't feel close to God, and I was getting into prayer, and I mean, I would pray, like, not all the time, but I would pray. Like, I wasn't like every day, but I would seek Him, like here in the mornings or at night or throughout the day. But it became a habit that I started to, like, here and there every once in a while pray, and then I started to feel like I wasn't feeling His presence anymore. So what I did was I was praying in the bathroom, and I was just thinking, I'm like, well, why is it that I can't feel His presence anymore? And as I was like in the bathroom, and I was talking to God at the same time and praying to Him. I was asking Him, why can't I feel your presence anymore? And I started to kind of like panic because I was like, I shouldn't have to feel like this. I shouldn't have to feel like I can't feel you anymore. I shouldn't have to feel like I can't hear you anymore. And it was almost like an audible voice came into my mind, and it was like literally the word fast. And I was like, I still remember it because I was like, I stood still for a second. I was like, fast? Like, what do you mean fast? And not only that, so that was my first time, like, I really actually heard that, and I was like, it really synced into me, and I really thought about it, and I was like, whoa, like this is a different type. I hadn't experienced it in that type of way yet. And then it happened that I was actually telling my sister about it. And I told her, I'm like, hey, I was like, you know what? I just was praying in the bathroom, and I was talking to God, and I was telling Him how I couldn't experience or feel Him anymore. Like, how I felt far away. Like, I felt like I was lonely. Like I wasn't just close to Him anymore. And then we were talking about it, and her husband actually was nearby when we were talking. He was doing something else, but he was nearby, and like he overheard a little bit, and then like before I even had finished my sentence that I was gonna tell her what God had told me, he goes fast. And I was like, that was like my second confirmation. And to me, I was like, okay, you know what, like God wanted me to fast. Like, yes, prayer is important, but He also wants you to do it throughout the day, not just in the morning, not just at night, or not just like every now and then. He wants you to consistently be praying, to constantly be in His Word, to constantly be like fasting. Also, fasting definitely got me closer to Him. I noticed that it improved a lot. And like I said, like, it was just something that just really hit me, kind of like, whoa, like I didn't expect that. But anyway, so let's get back on track because I'm kind of losing track here. So if we see that when we go to God for prayer, we also have to humble ourselves, because I've noticed, like, there's also times when I haven't been so humble, and I know that I hold things inside, like grudges or hate, and I can feel it inside me, and I'm like, well, how do I get rid of this? And I don't feel comfortable, for myself. I don't feel comfortable going to the altar and asking God there. I like to have of a more of a bond, a personal time alone with him at my house before getting to the altar. And I want to ask him for forgiveness. I want to just like, I want to pour out my whole heart to him, because I want him to know that I don't feel comfortable going up to the altar. And you know, I know most people are like, oh well, it's not a show. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to put it as a show, but what I'm saying is that I don't feel comfortable going up there knowing I'm holding something against my brothers or my sisters or against someone I know, you know. Just my mind and my heart just I don't feel right. So for me it's a little bit different. I like to just be at home in my personal space with them and ask him for forgiveness and ask him to guide me more into the place where I need to be or where he needs me to be, so that I can, you know, get up to the altar and feel better about myself. It has happened before